Morning, folks. This is Waylon. So I wanted to talk about how to make decisions. This is one of the hardest things to do in life. We all go through it when you want to go to one college or another, or you want to go out or stay in, or you want to break up with someone or stay together, or you want to buy this or that as a gift. I'm not thinking of all the vast array of decisions, but if you have a decision you need to make in your life, think about that right now. In Buddhism, there's a beautiful kind of hymn or chant that I grew up with called the Sadhana Mahamudra. It talks about confidence briefly. Confidence is clarity on some level. And that's something I do not have right now when it comes to making a big decision in my life. Because too often your brain, your heart get involved with some pros here, some cons here, some unknowns here, and you don't know how to make sense of all that, right? So the great Buddhist tip that I really appreciate, just be some sort of like spiritual materialism nugget that you take with you. It has to be founded on knowing what is, seeing clearly, on meditation. So meditation practice, you take a good posture, find your breath, eyes open. You notice your thoughts, you acknowledge them, you come back to your breath. And then when you're beginning and ending, you dedicate the merit. You bow to yourself, to our world, to the vision of being a benefit. It's not just something selfish. It's about being present and being available to this world. You can't just practice it for 3 seconds like I just did. You have to practice it for a couple minutes in the morning, couple minutes in the evening. Ideally, when you're beginning, you do a lot of group meditation, a lot of programs, a lot of weekend workshops. And then eventually you can just do it when you wake up, dedicate the merit, do it when you go to bed, meditate, dedicate the merit. So all of Buddhism founded on meditation, because that'll help you really get in your heart, in your clear mind. Once you have that foundation, I think not rushing, not forcing a decision, right? Generally forcing is not a great quality. It's not a great quality in relationships. It's not a great quality in life. Exertion can be a great quality, but you don't want to force something. You want to acknowledge the pros. You want to acknowledge the cons. You want to acknowledge the unknowns. So it takes a lot of vulnerability, a lot of bravery to say things to yourself, to others in making that decision that are honest. Instead of just pretending everything's fine or pretending everything's awful, forcing it one way or the other, or just saying, I don't know. So if you need to make that decision from a Buddhist point of view, foundation of meditation, foundation of trying to be a benefit to others, including yourself, not just about yourself, then you have to acknowledge don't know mind. And that's what I'm really thinking about this morning. It's something Suzuki wrote in Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind. Wonderful book I recommend to all of you. It's very accessible. Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind. Go find it. Ideally find a used copy somewhere. The old copies are beautiful. So don't know mind. What is that? That is really just being able to rest with that help of meditation, to rest in not knowing, to not have to make up a clear decision one way or the other, but to rest in not knowing. What does that require? It requires awareness that you're actually looking at everything, up and down, left and right, in and out. You're aware of what is happening and your heart is open. So when you speak, when you decide, it may naturally arise without a premeditated decision. You're doing so with a lot of vulnerability, a lot of bravery, and probably most of all, a lot of presence. And you're not doing it just out of self-concern, but out of clear seeing. And not knowing is something you may have to hold on to for quite a while. It may feel frustrating like indecision, but it's not the same as indecision. Rest in not knowing, maintain awareness, maintain an open heart, bravery to acknowledge the good and the bad and the unknown, and then see where that takes you. And that's where something in Buddhism, which I've talked about before, called auspicious coincidence comes in. If we're totally present, things just start working in a way that can be downright magical, even if we're not superstitious. All right. Big love to everyone. Hope that was vaguely helpful, and jolly good luck.